Hi, guys. Welcome to Binford Chronicles. It's a late night podcast, and it's because I have been reviewing video after video, and we're all occupied with everything that's going on with the Trump administration, China negotiations, the tariffs. We watch the stock market. Everybody's watching the stock market, the organized rallies against Doge that have gone on all over the country. Um, but there's other things that are happening that are underlying, and we've seen probably a few snippets of it here and there on social media, but kind of scroll right past it and don't really pay attention to it. We know it's there, but we don't really pay attention to it. And it really kind of caught my interest because I'm like, it's it's for some reason it's just poking at me, right? So
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance or by connecting them with our shared vision network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team-building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight.
here it is. It's Epic City Development Dispute. All right. So there's stuff going on here, but this is Epic City, and it's on 402 acres that is owned by Muslims, and it's really going to be a compound. So what I wanted to do is show you this video. And first, we're going to have this young lady who lives in Texas. This is in Texas. And she's going to give us a lowdown on what's going on. So let's go to this young lady, and she's very articulate, and she's apparently they're going to be having a meeting on April 14th. So she put her video out, and she's trying to get her community to show up and speak up. So let's go to it.
Purchased by the East Plano Islamic Center, and they plan on building.
Well, let me start her over again. I don't know why she already started.
Now, you probably haven't heard about much going on in Texas news outside of loudmouth Jasmine Crockett, but I am talking about 402 acres that was purchased by the East Plano Islamic Center, and they plan on building what is called Epic City, with at least 1,000 homes, a Muslim faith-based K-12 school, a Muslim faith-based college, senior homes, sports fields, basically everything it would need to make itself its own Muslim center city. Smack in the middle of Josephine, Texas, just about 40 minutes north of Collin County. But they are running into quite a few legal issues, starting with Sharia law.
So see, this is the compound. Now think about what she's saying, 402 acres. That is a compound. That is like the polygamist groups that we have throughout the United States. They buy lots of property, and then they have their own laws. They have their own banks. They have their own entertainment. It's like living in your county, right? So they will be able to control everything that's going on. They'll have schools. They'll have everything Sharia. They want to do Sharia law, and that's one of the issues that she's going to tell you that's coming up. But this is scary because they don't work. They work peacefully, right? By growing their numbers, multiplying. A lot of them came over over the border. We once they become a compound and they're participating and functioning in this compound, our United, it's private property, so you just can't go on there without a warrant, and that means they could have illegal residents living in there and growing and multiplying and having children, and then, you know, having birth certificates for those children. Or I don't even know how that's going to happen, but there's ways around things, is what I'm saying. So these compounds, yeah, it's a Muslim compound that's going to keep growing. So let's hear what she's talking about.
March 25th, Governor Abbott came out on X and said that Sharia law will not be tolerated in the state of Texas, which of course spurred Ken Paxton to open a CID, a civil investigative demand, into CCP, which is the for-profit organization that Epic started in order to sell these houses. Except here's the catch. These people that are buying these plots of land for homes, 450 of them so far to be exact, are giving their money to a company called CCP, which is a for-profit organization set up by Epic. So it blurs the lines a little bit, because these people, when they purchase these lands, are being told that their money goes back to Epic, giving the appearance that it's going to a nonprofit organization. But it's really going to the for-profit organization so that Epic can actually make profit. And that's against the law. So legal battle number one. Moving.
So now I can't confirm that information, but it's very interesting. So if somebody wanted to go and do that research, go have it. But I'm just thinking, man, that's pretty interesting. And definitely she is concerned about it. So she's going to be going to the meeting.
On to legal battle number two. Epic was also just handed a cease and desist letter by the Texas Funeral Service on March 26th because they were found to be operating funeral services and dealing with, unalived bodies unlicensed, and have been doing so since their license expired in 2022, which leads us into legal problem number three, securities fraud. You see, because Epic City is not taking on outside investors to help build this community, they have to disclose to these people who are buying shares in order to fund this project that there's a potential risk that they may lose their money and that they're not guaranteed a home, because things like permits still have to be voted on and passed. That vote is happening on April 14th. And if it gets shut down, these people could lose millions of dollars. And Epic didn't bother to tell anybody. just like they didn't bother to tell anybody that they were operating a illegal funeral service. But a spokesperson for Epic City came out and said, we are definitely going to abide by all the legal laws. You're not doing it now. Why would I think that if I give you a city, you're going to abide by our laws then? So the next step is that permit hearing I was talking about on April 14th, and it's at 1:30 in the afternoon at the courthouse in McKinney, Texas. It's open to the public. I plan on showing up so that I can make my voice heard, because this is my community and this is not something that I want in my community. So if you are in the Collin County area, please show up to Collin County Courthouse on April 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
So very interesting, isn't it? And I'm going to show you what the site looks like. This is the plan, and it talks about it. It's about, I'm going to say, it's maybe about 6 minutes long. So I'm going to play it for you and maybe stop it while I'm playing it so we can discuss it. But it's really interesting. It's a huge compound. It's a huge city, and it's the perfect place for multiplying your society, for having homes and having more babies and developing more Muslim ideology in the United States, and slowly purchasing more land and more land. So let's play that.
These factors coming together, we actually analyzed what made Epic so significant, and then decided to plan an entire, not just subdivision, not just some cul-de-sacs and an apartment complex. No, what if we were to take the best of what Epic has to offer, and then rather than just 100 houses, maybe 1,000+ houses, rather than just one masjid and one facility, a magnificent complex, rather than just an apartment complex that happens to be here, a purpose-built apartment complex, rather than just one subdivision, an entire city that we advertise to the entire American subcontinent, that look, Epic 1 was such an amazing success. What do you think would happen if we bring forth Epic 2.0? What is going to happen if we bring forth Epic 2.0, taking the best of Epic 1.0 and then purpose building an entire facility, an entire city, not just a subdivision, an entire massive plot of land right here in Dallas? Not 100 houses, 1,000 houses. This is going to be the opportunity of a game changer for the American da'wah scene.
You understand that? It is. It's going to be a game changer. So if they get what they want, they will have a huge city, thousands of homes, all Muslim, just Muslim people. It will be a private community to grow and have more kids. It's deliberate. It's deliberate expansion. It's a progression of expanding the Muslim ideology. You're going to have Muslim America. That's what the goal is. The real goal is to have worldwide people praying to Allah and believing in that ideology, living that ideology, praying in the streets like you have in New York. They have the Quran playing. Is it the Quran that plays that song? They call it something. I can't remember what they call it, but they play it out loud. So they go in the streets and they pray, because that's part of their religion, to pray several times a day, to fast. I'm impressed with how patient they are and friendly they are. They make sure that they are intelligent people. Look, they're getting into government positions. That's the best way to take over a nation, to lean it your way. They've got mayors, they've got city councilmen, they've got school board members. These guys are integrating without integrating intellectually, and they are moving into these positions so that they can control the narrative, they can control the laws, and that's what happened in New Jersey, and we're going to get to that. But let's finish watching this.
Can you imagine an entire city, meaning a district of Dallas? This is still in Dallas, don't worry, right? An entire sub-city of Dallas where purpose-built, we have from top to bottom an infrastructure. We have apartment complexes. We have people's home for elderly, those that need to have elderly people's home, purpose-built assisted facility. We have entire schools. Can you imagine the potential of such a city? Nothing this ambitious has ever been planned before in North America.
Here, young minds flourish, nurtured by knowledge and boundless opportunity. Epic QC, a girls' school, kindergarten to 12th grade, building acquired in 2023. Epic QC, a boys' school, completion in 20. And now, we embark on a new chapter, a vision of harmony, where homes and hearts unite. 402 acres of beautiful scenery. Welcome to the future of living. Welcome to Epic City. Nestled in the heart of Josephine, Texas. It is about 20 miles and 20 minutes from Epic. Commercial areas.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Welcome to Epic 2.0. Epic City is more than just a neighborhood. It's a way of life, a meticulously designed community that brings Islam to the forefront, a community that blends with nature, crafted to elevate your living experience. With single-family homes, multi-family townhomes and apartments, senior living, and in the heart a mosque and a school. Parks for Eid prayer, carnivals and community events. Multiple fields for sports including soccer, cricket, tennis, and volleyball. And public schools 10 minutes away.
You know, there's like, this is all architecture, engineering. This is like major planning. This is very thoughtful planning, well put together. I mean, they have been thinking about this infrastructure for a long time, and it's been a long time coming for them, and they've been working patiently, working their way. Look, they got Elon Omar in there. She is a huge, important person to these people, and there's a purpose for her and why she's in the Democratic Party. And all these people that are in the Democratic Party that are leaning this way, they are purposeful. Just like this is purposeful building, they are purposeful in the divide that they're creating. They are purposeful in changing the hearts and minds of American Democrats. They are skilled and they are accomplishing what they want to get done. I mean, it's impressive the scale that they've done this at and how they have managed to grab the hearts and souls of people. Look, even the music I'm listening to on here, it's pretty. I don't know what it's saying, but it's pretty. It's not, you know, it's a calming, soothing kind of rhythm, but they also are very loving and caring people when they talk to you, but there also is an agenda. They're not really accepting me as a Christian. I need to come to Allah in their eyes. And they will try to have me come that way in a more peaceful manner first. They still have a whole huge nation and a lot of growth before they can really start taking over. All these little rallies, I believe they are influenced, but that's my opinion, right? I can't say they are. I can't say they are influencing this, but when you see Americans changing their ideology and now believing in that we should be holding the Palestine flags and burning the American flags, you're kind of wondering, where is that ideology coming from and how are they, what's entering their minds? I love America. I am a constitutionalist. I love my freedoms. I love being my own person. I love being a woman. I love my Lord. And I don't think that the way I dress, is a sin. I'm not fully controlled by a religion like the Muslim women. They have a different lifestyle. They're very, they've been grown. They're raised a certain way, and it's your mindset. Just like anything you do, you get your mindset in there, and I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I haven't met a mean Muslim. I haven't, but I do know that they are set on having everyone in the entire world being Muslim and accepting Muhammad as the prophet and Allah as the God. So it's very interesting. So I wanted to show you this. Let's take a look at it. It's a beautiful city. They've done a lot of work on it, except Sharia law is not the law of our land. The Constitution is supreme law. And if you have Muslims coming in and they're not assimilating, and part of the assimilation is accepting the Constitution as the law of the land. Now, they have assimilated in many other ways as far as academics, speaking good English. They learn the language really well. They learn to be really kind and talk to people. The women keep to themselves, or they socialize. Some of them do socialize. So they've integrated in many other ways except for that Muslim way, which is not just religious, but it's the supreme law. And when you hold a supreme law over the Constitution, just like Ilhan Omar, she needs to swear on the Christian Bible, because our supreme law was built on the moral principles and values of Christianity, of Judeo-Christianity. And I believe she did not swear on the Constitution. I believe she swore on the Quran. But I'll have to go back and look at that. Don't take my word for it. But I remember there was a time when somebody got sworn in and they didn't swear in on the Bible. So we'll have to look that up. But let's finish watching this. It's not much longer, but there's some information in here I just want you to see.
Epic City, a housing community where we celebrate diversity and promote unity. Our community is designed to foster a sense of belonging and inclusivity for all residents, regardless of their background. We believe.
So I believe what he's saying there is because, the diversity is going to be pretty much transitioning from Christianity to Islam, the Muslim religion, and Sharia law. That's the inclusivity that you're going to need, because otherwise everybody that's Muslim and believes in Sharia law, there's nothing to be uninclusive about, at least in my eyes. But hey, I'm not a Muslim, right?
Believe that everyone deserves a safe and comfortable place to call home, and we are committed to creating a welcoming environment where all residents can live together in harmony. Our society is built on the principles of mutual respect, understanding, and compassion, and we strive to create a space where everyone feels valued and appreciated. We look forward to welcoming everyone there. We ask Allah to help us complete this project.
I need to see it here. All right, Epic 2.0. Welcome to the Epic City. A safe, as Sheikh said, purpose-built community to serve the growing needs of our Muslim community. Brothers and sisters, as you know more than me, DFW is one of the cities where we have one of the highest influx of people coming in, especially the Muslim community. They are just coming in groups, mashallah. And we can see now, look around us, mashallah. Look at Epic, look at other masajid. Mashallah, mashallah, the growth is amazing. There is no more space left in our cities. There is no more space left around us. Right now, I have 5 or 6 brothers who want a house next door, Andalus or Medina. And trust me, they can't find a place. They can't find a lot. They want a masjid close by. People want a community close by, a school close by. And imagine now with Epic 2.0, it's not just about school.
See, the Muslims are coming here and they're wanting to make their own world here. And that's what's scary. It's and they're doing it successfully. They are working together, raising money together, purchasing lands, focusing. You know, have you ever heard of doing the 5-year plan or doing the board, doing your 5-year plan board, and then you follow those steps and you stay focused? That's what they do. It's incredible what they do. They stay focused, they work hard, they keep drilling that focus, and they never veer off that focus. And they've been doing this for decades here in the United States, and they are growing immensely now. They are reaching large proportions. They are at that point right now where they want to build the largest Muslim community. This will be the largest Muslim community, because right now the largest Muslim community is in New York. They have approximately 1 million Muslims in New York. And that's why you're seeing all these Palestine protests. You see that when you see the protests and you see a lot of the women with the hijabs. I'm sorry, I apologize if I say that wrong. But that is one area where they have pretty much infiltrated New York City. Approximately 1 million Muslims live there. So they are making progress. It's amazing that they're doing that. The Hebrews, the Jewish people used to be really good at it too, but they didn't, they didn't really try to change the world to all become Jewish. We've got, the Jewish synagogues and stuff around, but they don't bother anybody. But Muslims want to change everything. They want to hear their prayer out in the streets. They will stop traffic and in the streets. They are disrupting the American way of life. And now they're going to build these cities. And if they can keep buying large masses of land, they will expand, and eventually they will just take over the cities. Because why do we have to hide in our compounds now when we have such a majority, right? That's what happens. So listen to this. We're going to go here. I'm going to skip a few. This gentleman talking.
We might have the adhan because we own this whole land, and it's what do you call it? Independent. It's in a county, and it's in 2 counties, so you can have your own adhan. Imagine our children, like we grew up listening to the adhan. Can you imagine? And my son waking up and going to Fajr, and Allahu Akbar, Allah, yani, I'm dreaming, but I'm enjoying this dream. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it happen, inshallah ta'ala. I think, Allah, I'm very excited, and many people who are my age and up.
See, I mean, I love that they're trying to get their own thing. You want to have your own thing, but the thing is they're leaving their land to come here, not because they're oppressed, but because really the goal is to go to all the countries and make them all Muslim. Islam, Islam is the religion and Muslims are the followers of the religion. And that's what I understand of it. But Sharia law is the supreme law for them. And that means wherever they go, it needs to change so that they can live their lives according to Muhammad and praying for Allah. And they have certain rituals that they need to do. And they're bringing that to every country because worldwide, I can't say it enough, they want the entire world to be Muslim. So let's see.
Well,
he's excited.
We know that we're doing this for our children. I don't know if I'm going to be able to enjoy this, Allahu Alam, but we are doing for our children. And I want everybody, like one brother called me today, and subhanallah, he said, is it something about, building? And I said, what do you want? He said, I want to have one for each child. I told him, wallahi, this is the right thing to think of, is to have one for each child. And alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, at least you know that you left your family in a secure, beautiful environment. Can you imagine the power? 1,000 homes and 1,000 apartments with the townhomes, right? How many people are there? At least 4,000 or 5,000. Do you know the power of 5,000 people? Do you know the power of 5,000 Muslims in an area? Wallahi, this is a game changer. We are.
Listen to the words. Do you know the power of 5,000 Muslims in one area? Hey, just take a look at New York City when they're having their rallies, their protests. There's a lot of Muslims out on the street now.
Literally, every single one who's sitting here is witnessing history in the making. And just like everybody in America duplicate us, I beg them to duplicate us with this too.
That's right. Duplicate us, He's saying it right there. Duplicate us, do what we're doing. Go out there, donate to your mosque, buy property, and build cities.
Allahumma laka alhamd. Wallahi, none of it, not even a thought of it will cross our mind without the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pure.
Look, they have so much discipline. I got to tell you, it's impressive, the discipline that they have, because they're making it happen. And it's happening in the United States because the United States people are soft. People don't have the discipline to say, my country first. They say, oh, we need diversity and inclusion. Oh, excuse me, here, you can do that. Oh, that's okay. We'll be inconvenienced for you. And you pretty much are giving it up. You're giving up America to people that come here and want to change America. That's changing America. That's transforming America. And they're focused. They are laser focused and disciplined. And this has been on my mind. I'm like, wow, this is really serious stuff. And here's a lady in Texas who's on fire. I know you guys have seen this one going around, but she's kind of on fire, and she's concerned, and she sees what's happening, and she's angry about it. Let's go to her. Where's my girl? But here we go.
I proclaim the name of the Lord Jesus Christ over the capital of Texas. I stand against Islam and the false prophet Muhammad. Islam will never dominate the United States, and by the grace of God, it will not dominate Texas.
I like that.
She was kind of fed up with it. Absolutely fed up with it. I don't blame her. It's a concern. People are buying out land, and look what's happening in New York City. They're playing that Adhan, I think is what he said it was, the prayer out in the streets of New York City. while people are walking in the streets. And then there's some areas that get totally shut down because everybody goes out in the street to pray. It's very un-American to stop everybody else's life for your own. Now, what I wanted to do is move on to Paterson, New Jersey. This really bothered me because of some of the statements that were made at this, and we'll go over that. We're about 36 minutes into this, so this shouldn't take too long, maybe 19 minutes. So let's go to Paterson, New Jersey.
Paterson is proud to have the largest Muslim population in the state of New Jersey. And we are a better city because Muslims call Paterson home. And as you can see here in South Paterson on Palestine Way, we are proud to light the Hilal, something that has inspired other cities. As a matter of fact, over 50 cities now in this state light the Hilal, and I'd like to think 60, I stand to be corrected, over 60 other municipalities in the state of New Jersey light a fanus or halal, and I'd like to think that Paterson has inspired all of these cities and towns.
See, that just blows my mind, because if municipalities don't like to play favoritism on religion. So if a Catholic went up there and wanted to, say, now when they have a prayer at the county commission office, it's just a basic prayer. It's not whether you're Baptist. It could be Baptist. It could be Catholic. It could be a Jewish person saying prayer up there. They just, say a blessing is what they do. So you really don't know what the background is of the person that's doing the blessing, and that's it. But to go out of your way and now make these municipalities literally honor a certain religion and ideology and government, because the Muslim religion is Sharia law. So it's scary. And that's New Jersey. And that means the more Muslims that take over cities, the less of the republic that will be revitalized, which we are trying to do right now, is revitalize the republic, because the Democrats has destroyed it. And that means your Republican Party is going to begin to fail at some point, because Muslims will populate, and they will continue to populate, and they are smart, and they are intelligent, they are disciplined, and they have a plan. They have a strategic plan.
Yalla, Zeku, come on. But I want to brag about Paterson first. Paterson embraces and appreciates Islam. So much so that we are one of the few cities in the country where children are afforded a day off for both Eid holidays so they can celebrate with their families. Paterson is one of the few cities where children in schools can have halal food on in their cafeterias. The children should be clapping for that one. Day off and halal food? Come on, guys, get with the program. I want to go back to school.
Okay, so that's got to be pretty expensive for your school district, because now you have to have a separate food menu. Is halal food the same as kosher food for the Jewish people? I'm just curious, because I know Jewish people like to have kosher food. So if their kids are following that same diet, they probably send them to school with lunch. So just a little thing in my head that crossed my head when I was listening to that.
No, they want day off, right? They want day. Anyway, also the Adhan, the call to prayer, thanks to the city council and the administration, can be heard in the city of Paterson when it is time to pray.
There you have it. The city of Paterson. This is a city. Taxpayers pay money for this city. This is a city, part of the United States. And the Adhan, that's what it's called, the Adhan. I heard it clearly because his speech was more clear. Adhan is the prayer. So it can be heard. So does that mean they sit down in the streets and pray? That's not American. That's your religion dominating everything else, or your prayer time. I mean, prayer should be a private thing. For Christians, it's a private thing. You don't have to go out and do it in the middle of the street. It's just a total different ideology that's coming to America, but it's not coming to America to assimilate. It's coming to America to make America assimilate to it. And that's the issue that I have.
And I also would like to state that since taking office, we opened up the doors of City Hall for the first time in Patterson's history to have a community iftar to break fast in Patterson. This year, the sheriff will join us. That will be on Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. And also, Patterson is probably one of the few municipalities where you have not one, not two, but 3 Muslim city council members as a part of our governing body.
And this is how the transformation takes place when you have Muslims in government, your local government, your school board, your county commission. Then they go on to Congress. They become statesmen. Then they get up there and they're like there with Ilhan Omar. And now you have the change, the process changing. I mean, this is a transformation process of getting the right people into office to make the transformation happen. And there's a progression cycle, right? And it's happening. You can see it right here. The sheriff is Muslim. All these people are Muslim here. The progression is happening. Now they've got New Jersey having the Patterson, New Jersey, Adhan playing the Adhan. I mean, the changes are happening. This is turning into a little Muslim community.
So it is with profound pride today that we gather together as one community, an annual tradition we do to start the holy month of Ramadan here in the state's largest city with the largest, with the largest Muslim population in the state. And I would like to thank all of those, Ihab, thanks for joining us. You want to come up, please? I would like to thank all those that made this possible. But I would especially like to acknowledge our Deputy Mayor, Rod Ode.
Deputy Mayor is Muslim.
Some people think he works harder than me, but for the record, he's volunteering and is not getting compensated for any of this. His reward is to see that we celebrate each other and we come together as a community. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the proud owner of Palestine Hair Salon and our Deputy Mayor, Rod Ode.
This is how you do it. You get them all into government positions, into these top level positions. And this, he's a deputy mayor. And then from there, he can be governor. I mean, come on, guys. This is a well-devised plan, well-organized, well set. I'm just like speechless. I used to live in New York. We used to go to New Jersey. We used to go to North Bergen County to go to the beaches there and hang out as kids, teenagers, and hang out on the beaches there with other friends. It's blowing my mind.
That was a great mayor. Assalamu alaikum. Mayor, is this loud enough? No. Assalamu alaikum. Little Palestine. Assalamu alaikum. Let's try Palestine way. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. We are blessed to be from such a beautiful community. As the dear mayor was saying, that Patterson, New Jersey holds the largest Muslim population in New Jersey. So we're blessed for this, alhamdulillah. Also, he said something very interesting that made me very happy, and that was that Patterson was the first city that started off the fanus lighting 11 years ago. And it seems that Patterson is at the forefront of these good actions as all the other cities follow suit. So we're blessed to be from the city, and the city of Patterson, New Jersey is like a home away from home. It is truly home for all of us. It's a diverse city. It's a city with the best restaurants in the world as well. Because if you want the best Turkish food, they say go to Main Street, not Istanbul. And if you want the best Palestinian food, they say go to Main Street, not Palestine.
Before I turn it back over to Tariq, I'm not the one who said it, but I've heard people say that Patterson is probably the 4th most halal or holiest city in the world. Jerusalem, Mecca, Medina, and Patterson, New Jersey. We are halal, 100% halal. Tariq,
He just named some of the holiest places, countries for the Muslim religion. That's what I gather from that statement. So he's making a statement of Patterson, New Jersey.
I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
You know how much I hate speaking after you, right? There's no way I can match that energy, especially when I'm reading off papers. Assalamu alaikum. Honorable community members, local officials, business owners, and dear friends. Tonight we gather for this beautiful crescent lighting ceremony. We not only welcome the holy month of Ramadan, a time of faith, reflection, and unity, but we also celebrate the incredible spirit of South Patterson, now known as Little Palestine.
South Patterson, New Jersey is known as Little Palestine. And to get back to Mecca, Mecca is located in Saudi Arabia, for those who don't know. And that's where the Prophet Muhammad was born. And Kaaba, am I saying it right? Where the sacred site is in. Kaaba is a sacred site in Islam. And that's located in Mecca. Grow, and then you grow the Ummah and community is what they want to do. I don't know if I said that right.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Ramadan Kareem. Again, repeat. Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan Kareem. Mayor, I want to make it easy for you. Ramadan Kareem is easier than Ramadan Mubarak. So I want to make it easy because somebody find it Ramadan Mubarak. No, Kareem, that's we can say it. So Ramadan Mubarak. Everybody. Ramadan Mubarak. Allah ya Rabbi barik lakum fi hadha ash-shahr al-azim. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our beloved month, Ramadan, which is very special for every believer, because we believe that Ramadan is the month of the revelation. The Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad in Ramadan.
Your brothers and sisters in Gaza. Yes. Gaza needs your prayer, need your
support. Gaza needs your support, your prayer, your dua. And ask Allah to spread peace in the Holy Land, in Palestine, in Gaza, in Jerusalem. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get all people to remain one humanity, one nation, under one God, and to be just and fair with each other.
And the next group that I want to thank and hand over the mic to are people that are very close friends to the community, who supported the renaming of Main Street to Palestine Way that was sponsored by Assemblyman Ala Abdulaziz.
It's absolutely honored that we are in a city with the largest Muslim community called home. And just know this, we are so blessed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us another Ramadan in our life. Just know this, we heard a speech about the Gaza and the current situation. Just know that because of your commitment, we are the second city in the state of New Jersey introduced the ceasefire resolutions. and we did 3 times. So just know this, brothers and sisters. We have to be together regardless we agreed or disagreed on some items. And with that intention, I would like to say Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
See, now it's like the Muslims support Gaza and what Gaza is about. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking, you know, they are totally behind all of those Palestine. That's why wouldn't they be out in the streets for Palestine? We've seen them out in the streets for Palestine. So they're working against us in that sense and causing a lot of division. But it's helping them make progress. It really is. It's helping them make progress. They've got people on their side. It's in my head, and I'm just like, man, I can't get over this. You know, these cities, when I look at Philadelphia, I look at Kansas City, they've got a big Muslim community there purchasing land, and they keep adding more land. They keep buying more land around them so they can expand and grow and multiply.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. Patterson is a better place because all of us go home. And also remember, election has consequences. You see what's going on in Washington, D.C. So make sure we all participate. As you know, our state representatives are here, LD 35. Make sure in June 10th primary, we send the right people to Trenton so they could fight for us.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. They are putting everybody in office, and by multiplying, having more people, having more kids, having more teens, they've been doing this for decades. So all these kids that they've been raising from 10, 15, 20 years ago are coming to adulthood, and they've raised them under discipline, under an ideology of strict rituals, you know, or what am I thinking of? You know, it's their religion. So they follow the rituals, the prayer, the Allah, and all that stuff. So this ideology is grained from being beautiful little children, and they grow up and they're disciplined. They go to school, they learn, and they get into these offices. I mean, look at this crowd. All of these people are Muslim here, and they're all in office seats. And they are getting involved in politics so that they can change the government. Ilhan Omar is in there, and there's other Muslims in there, and they're getting it done. They really are. The divide has happened. If you look at all of the constitutional scores of our Democrats, we just watched the Democrats walk out on Homan. Totally unconstitutional of them to do that. Unconstitutional behavior, because they're representatives. They're not supposed to be protesters. They're supposed to be articulating. They're supposed to be parliamentarian processes, and they're not doing that. They are just throwing tantrums and walking out and rejecting. They're basically rejecting the American people. And a lot of American people are following along as well. They're full of hate. Hate is a growing disease in the United States, and this benefits the Muslim community, because in their eyes, in their religion, in their belief, in their ideology, in their Sharia law that they follow, they totally believe everything that they're doing is for the better of the world, to bring everybody to Allah. And that's what they believe. That's what they want us all to become. They want us all to be Muslims, and they want to live this Muslim life, and they want to change the world to be that way. And they are doing it. They are getting people into office. I mean, just this is a perfect example. New Jersey. Oh my gosh, we used to go to New Jersey when I was living in New York as teenagers because they didn't tax you on clothing. We went shopping there. We all hop in a car and go across state lines to New Jersey and go shopping. It's a city that I'm very familiar with that I cannot even recognize from this video. Let's scroll up a little bit further. Here's another young man who's also in office.
The Fanus. A couple years later, alhamdulillah, I was able to be on the city council. 2 years after that, we renamed this Palestine Way.
2 years after being in office, they were able to rename this street called Palestine Way now. Do you see the advancement they're making? They're diligent. They get professional. They're intelligent. They are on target. They're making headway. They're making progress. And what is our nation doing? We're regressing. We've got people hating America, and man, we got to fight for America, guys. When I see this, I'm like, yeah, we're distracted by all the Trump stuff and all the stuff that's going on in the news, but this is what's happening in the back scenes. And Americans are not voting in the primaries. Nobody's paying attention to their local government. People don't even vote in the primaries mostly. Our primaries here where I live, what do we get, like 32%, 34% turnout, when you've got so many people that could be voting and nobody participates. It's saddening. And that's what's letting our government fall apart. You know, nobody participates, and then they don't pay attention to what's going on till it affects them directly, till it affects them to the point where it slaps them in the face. But otherwise, they don't pay attention. They don't vote. 34% turnout is horrible. It's horrible. And if you've got a society with an ideology that comes in and they stick together, like this group of people, and they support each other, and they're just like, look, this is our goal, this is our goal, this is our, and their mindset is to do that, they can take over any city. They really can, because look at Miami. Miami is voted a Muslim in. The minute you start voting people with un-American ideologies into office, you're asking to lose your country. It has nothing to do with diversity. It has everything to do with assimilating to the American way. If you're coming here from another country, you should be assimilating to the American way and honoring that country's constitution. Muslims do not honor our constitution. Our constitution is not their supreme law. Their supreme law is Sharia law. And they are going to take over this country if we continue to let it happen. And we also have our own troubles with our own party. The Democrat Party is not the party that's going to save America. It's the Republican Party that's going to save America. And if we don't get Republicans on board with saving America, and we don't get our communities on board with paying attention to who's getting in office, to fighting for what's right in office, for learning the Constitution. You know, America is not an emotional cesspool. That's not how we get things done. We get things done by following our Constitution that makes it equal for everybody, by not having emotional laws. We cannot make laws and decisions on emotion. You know, I saw a representative, and I won't say whether it was county or city, but they said on the dais, I feel. A representative should never say, I feel, when they're talking about policies. They should look at the policies and see if the policies are constitutional or unconstitutional. If they fall within the laws that are written, then you make those decisions. Are they encroaching on civil liberties? Those are the decisions that you make. You don't say, I feel. You say, this law pertains to this law, or this law is not specified here. Or, you know what I mean? You start looking at the bills, you start looking at the actions that are happening, and you don't approach them emotionally. And that's the problem with Americans. They forget that there's reason to have Florida statutes and the Constitution, why it was developed, why we are a constitutional republic and not a democracy. Everybody calls us a democracy. We're not a democracy, for crying out loud. We are not a democracy. We have an electoral college. We have 3 forms of government: the judicial branch, the executive branch. I only named 2, the Congress, executive, judicial, and legislative branch. We have the 3 branches of government. And there's a reason for that, so that there's a balancing act between rational and reasoning decisions, not emotional decisions. And we have all of these representatives making emotional decisions that have nothing to do with equality, being equal, everybody having the same result, the same consequences for things. You've got people saying, because I had a baby, I need a proxy vote. It's not constitutional to do your voting proxy. For example, those people took on jobs to be representatives of hundreds of thousands of people. They are held to a higher standard, and they don't get maternity leave. And if the doctor signed them off to okay to go home, if the doctor did not say you cannot stay home, you cannot go to work, then you go to work. You figure it out. It's just, I don't mean to go on, but this is really concerning, because this is all happening in the background, guys, and we have elections coming up. I know here in Florida, 2026, we have local elections. We have some representatives that we have to vote for, and who's doing the work? And then 2028, we have the presidential election again. So nobody's really paying attention. Everybody's still running around hating everybody. We've got people wasting their time standing on corners yelling Doge and my 401k's plummeting and whatever. Guys, Social Security is not going anywhere. Stop looking at that and start looking at what's happening to the nation, because I'm not going to have any Social Security left if all those people on Social Security that don't belong on Social Security are sucking up all the funds. There's only so much money that goes in, and there's only going to be so much money left for people to get. There were more people in my parents' generation alive than there are in my generation, but my generation still has a lot of people that are alive that are going to be on Social Security. Our kids are having fewer kids, but still, you've got to have some Social Security left over, or just stop paying into Social Security and let us put it in our pockets. Because if people can start stealing and living off of Social Security, off of dead people, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say dead people, but unalive people, okay? So if people are no longer living and other people are stealing that Social Security, that means they're sucking money out of the till that it's not going to be left for other people that are collecting Social Security. So I don't know what people are so upset about. They're not cutting Social Security, and they're not cutting Medicaid. There's a lot of people that are lying about benefits that are on Medicaid. So these are the things that are concerning me, because people are just so distracted by these stupid topics. Let the president do what he needs to do to try to find the fraud, get rid of the fraud, and that alone will help save some of that debt that we have that's uncontrollable, that's already, doesn't matter who's the president right now, that debt is still going down to our kids and our grandkids. But look what's going on here. We've got another nation, another country's people coming over to literally change the ideology of America, to literally change the religion of America, to literally change the Constitution of America. You know, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We've got a whole New Jersey. It's just blowing my mind. And then I can take you to Kansas City, but it's getting late, and I don't want to over drag this, which I probably already have. So let me see if there's anything left on here.
4 years after that, I stand here today as a proud representative in the New Jersey General Assembly, the first Palestinian and the second Muslim, or first Muslim in this district. And I say that when Ramadan, when a community comes together and when we're united, great things happen, right, Sheikh?
You know, the Muslims are together.
All about. Come together, get closer to our deen, to our religion, and pray. Pray, pray, and pray, Councilman Kaya. Park, Haledon, North Haledon, Elmwood Park, and Garfield. Sheikh, I went from the 6th ward to 6 towns now. So
he's talking about spreading what they've just
done here. Now you know why. It's been a lot of work. We'll be here next year, June 10th. We're back at it. We'll do this, and inshallah we'll light a fanus in the State House for the first time next year. Inshallah, we'll be taking that down. We'll be taking a bus to Trenton, because this is the Mecca in New Jersey for the Muslim community. Paterson, New Jersey.
Paterson is the capital of Palestine in the United States of America.
See, that's intense. The calling it the capital of Palestine in America. That's intense. Calling it the Mecca of New Jersey. That's incredible too, because that's a holy land. That's holiness, where the Prophet Muhammad was born. So they're comparing that to Mecca. They're comparing it to the capital of Palestine, which I find that offensive. This is not good, you know, for America. It's not good. It's good for them because they're making headway. Why? Because people aren't paying attention, because people are allowing these people to get into office. They're allowing somebody who does not want to assimilate to American ideology, the American compact of the Constitution of the United States. They don't want to have anything to do with that. They want to change us. They want us to transform and become Muslim. They want us to accept Allah and Muhammad. That's the goal here. And they will do it through government, because why? Once you get in government, they can change the government. And that's what their plan. That's what they'll do. Look at all the grief we're going through with the Democratic Party and Ilhan Omar and the things that she says and does. It's un-American. It really is. We are in trouble, guys, and we need to pay attention locally. We need to pay attention, not just locally, but most important, locally, because nobody votes in the primaries. And I'm saying nobody because 34% is terrible out of 100%. And some counties have 24% turnout. It's disgusting. And that's how these people get into office. They're smart. They are not dummies. They are very smart. They're articulate, and they have a plan. They're determined. They're disciplined, and they are in the mindset. They are in the mindset, and you can do anything when you're in the mindset.
Paterson, as stated before, is the 4th holiest city in the world. Jerusalem, Mecca, Medina, and then Paterson, New Jersey. And I also want to say that we are proud that we can come together as a community to light this Hilal. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask for one last speaker who runs circles around me.
So I'm not going to wait for the last speaker. That Halal, I guess, is the star and the moon. But guys, I just want you to think about this. And I know it was a little bit long. I want to say thank you for sticking around, but it was bugging me today. And I just wanted to share that in a discussion and just put it out there and think about it. You know, this is, look at all the other states. I'll give them to you. We've got New York City, like I said, they've got approximately 1 million Muslims. You've got Houston, Texas, and Dallas, Texas. In Houston, you've got approximately 445,000 Muslims. And in Dallas, Texas, you've got about 135,000. So that's a little over 500,000. And then you've got California, Los Angeles, California. You've got about 371,000. You've got Chicago, Illinois, 361,000. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 200,000. And there's about 80% of Muslims in Eastern PA is what I've got here. You've got Atlanta, Georgia, 130K. You've got Dearborn, Michigan. They just gave percentages. I was looking these up earlier. And Dearborn, Michigan there's 40% Muslim there. And they're in Hamtramck, Michigan, 60%. So there's a lot of Muslims in our nation. And in Washington, D.C., there's about 200K that live there. So they are multiplying. They are making communities and homes, and they're spreading. I mean, look, California even has where they're doing, is it Adhan? I'm sorry, I forgot. Adhan playing out loud in the streets. I think they do it over there as well. And that is just, it's crazy to me, because we are not a Muslim nation. So you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be favoring a religion over another and just doing it out in public like that. It's you know, it's crazy. I think that's crazy. It's like America is being infiltrated from within, and people are coming over that don't want to assimilate to our Constitution. They don't accept our Constitution as supreme law. That's why I can't figure out why Ilhan Omar is in there. She does not accept the Constitution as supreme law. She's Sharia law. She's a Muslim. She's in that office specifically to help the Muslim community progress, to move forward with the agenda. And you know, they're doing a good job moving forward. I got to give it to them. They are like making progress. I don't like it, but they're doing it, and they have done it without too much violence. Yeah, they've influenced protesters and the Palestine thing in the streets, but so far they've made a lot of progress. They bought 402 acres of land, and nobody's going to take that away from them at this point, right? So all they have to do is figure out how to make the wheels turn so that they can start building on it and make that initiative that they have come true. So it's happening, you know, and 402 acres. I don't know how long it'll take to build that, but as they're building it, they're still going to be looking at more land elsewhere. And they've got the discipline, they've got the structure, they've got the support from their people, they've got the support of American people. I mean, this is crazy stuff. Really, it is. So, yeah. I was thinking about that today, and I just wanted to share that. And see what you guys thought about it. And, you know, I could put some other pieces together with what it have. I could have, we already got Patterson at Philadelphia. I could do the one with Kansas. Kansas has a huge compound as well. I mean, these are compounds, guys. Like, remember Waco? These are compounds, Muslim compounds, but they're nice. They're perfect for growing more people, for multiplying. Yeah, for spreading the Muslimhood, brotherhood. That's what they're doing. And you know, I mean, I can't fault them for it, because I understand that's where their mindset is at, and they're really good at it. And we have to be better at being Americans and loving our country and standing up for our country, and making people accountable for moving here, and saying, hey, if you're going to move here, you have to be accountable for the American way of life. And you can't just come here and try to turn us into your way of life. You're welcome to live here by our side, but Sharia law is not supreme law. If you want that to be supreme law, you might want to stay in your Islamic country, or, you know, Saudi Arabia, or Mecca, or wherever those other places are. So anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around, and have a good night.